Hello and welcome back to my channel. Well, we've covered a lot of ground lately because events are happening fast and there's a lot of alarm bells ringing. I mean, it's a five alarm fire and there are multiple fires, and I don't know if we're going to get out of this one, honestly. I have to admit, I'm a little scared. If anything, like all other transgender Americans, we are, we're full of anxiety right now because there's just so much being done against this community, a community that none of these hateful people, mostly white men and these stupid women, I will say. And I say stupid because they're fighting for a patriarchy that is intent on taking their rights away. So by being tools of that patriarchy, yeah, that makes you stupid, okay? Gladly, most women aren't part of that shit, but the few that are, yeah. Anyway, so I want to talk about the immorality of making things illegal. The illegality of things. I mean, as everyone has now heard, Trump has directed ICE to target transgender people. Now, particularly, hold on, they're saying this only applies to visa holders, okay? People that sought asylum, people who are immigrating, and others that may be, they're here for work, study, whatever the case may be. But we know how ICE plays. They'll just grab anybody they see because they don't have any incentive to follow the law. In fact, they're told to ignore the Constitution, ignore due process. Just grab anybody, do whatever you want, rough them up, whatever. Break their noses, smash their windows. You're not going to have to pay for it. And besides, if they resist, you get to charge them with assault, and then they're going to do real time, and we get to really fuck them up. What a bunch of sick assholes. I mean, I grew up in America where people fought for the underdog. People stood up for people that couldn't defend themselves. We're less than this. We're about 1% of the population. You didn't know we existed until 3 years ago. And this all started because fucking Elon Musk comes over here and whines. I mean, if you recall, there was almost nothing done to transgender people during the first Trump regime, okay? Except he tried to institute a military ban, which was pretty fucked up if you were then serving and had a distinguished career and they forced you out. I mean, heard the story of the one colonel, I believe, who was originally Air Force and flew planes and then got assigned to Space Force and became very prominent. And 1 week before her retirement, they told her rules have come down that you can't wear your uniform for your retirement because you now have orders to, if you want to wear that uniform, you are subject to the military uniform justice and code. And that means it's basically they told her if you want, it's like in order to, you will be charged with a crime for wearing that uniform that she probably served in. I mean, she transitioned legally. They told her you have to take your ears out and you have to cut your hair and you have to present yourself as a man. And mind you, she now has breasts, she has everything. She is a woman. I mean, no, she had vaginoplasty. Still, that's fucked up. That is just fucked up. Okay, getting back to those visa holders, I mean, they came here illegally, they applied, they did everything according to the laws. It's the same thing with the shit in Kansas. Look, last year, I legally changed my name because I've been going by Ava for a long time. Okay, even back to the 1990s, and when I used to be known as Ava Tricks. I hired attorney service, filled out paperwork. We went to the court. We filed papers. We paid court fees. We waited until our hearing came. A judge granted our petition. And so legally, I became Eva Luisa Rosas, okay? We had to go through the same process to get our driver's license. We had to go through this to get our Social Security, every other thing. We had to change over everything. So now all my IDs reflect my new legal name and gender marker. You know, most trans girls, and I'm gonna say that loosely, okay? Because I mean, trans women for the most part are women. The majority of them. I don't call myself a woman. I don't claim to be a woman. I mean, I know I'm trans. I'm actually trans femme, so my agenda's a little different. But I don't have to explain it to you. You know, it's like either you know, you don't. Doesn't matter. You know. You're probably going, yeah, dumb bitch is gonna die anyway, right? They're gonna stick us in an oven. They're gonna totally Auschwitz us. That's the fear. I mean, DHS is building 22 detention camps, most of them in Texas and some in the Dakotas. And they bought these massive incinerators that can literally melt bone. So, bone, ash, humans, no trace. They can say, we didn't know. Of course, you know, the people living close, they're going to be there standing there like a fucking German outside of Dachau being confronted by American soldiers demanding to tell them the truth while they're dusting off human ash off their fucking shoulders. No, that can't be us. You, the American public, our friends, our allies, and those standing on the side, you can't allow this to happen on American soil. No, you can't. It's immoral. But getting back to the immorality, I mean, that's just probability. I don't know that will happen. I pray it doesn't. I mean, okay, I'll admit, you know, some of us can be a little bit much, but for the most part, most people are peaceful. They just live in normal lives. Look, I'm functioning as a housewife. I call myself a housewife. I mean, I'm just a little housewife that likes goth industrial music, okay? You know? Yeah, I listen to Ministry, Bauhaus, and Sisters of Mercy, and, you know, and Combi Christ. Big fucking deal, okay? Whatever. Look, I raised 2 kids. You know? I take them to school. I get them fed. I get them up in the morning. I take care of everything. It's normal life, pretty much. You know, it's just, you know, I'm just Ava to the kids. And they know I'm still their father. But, you know, because of the way the public is, you know, I can't really, it's not good for them to call me daddy in public. So I just have them call me Ava. And that's cool. I'm cool with that. Okay? So, you know, again, I did everything legal. Our trans sisters out in Kansas did everything legal. They did everything legal. They did exactly the same thing. They filed their petitions. They went to the courts. They paid their fees. They did everything. And now these Republicans bring out this law out of nowhere and just say, boom, you are now invalid. You can't do this. You realize they can't get passports now. Well, we couldn't anyway because of fucking Trump. To do a lot of things without a valid identification really just fucks you in so many levels. I mean, anything from buying guns to buying booze to, you know, entering or doing any kind of thing financial, you need to have IDs. So these guys are invalidating? I mean, it's like they're saying, you're committing fraud. Bullshit. So you have to you are misrepresenting yourself. You have to be exactly who you were at birth. Exactly who I was at birth. What am I going to do? Put a picture of a baby on my driver's license? That's unreasonable. And not only that, it's discriminatory, which is unconstitutional. It's discriminatory because you're singling out one group of people, a small group of people. You know, there's not very many of us. I mean, a little under 3 million, okay? You know, and we're found all around the world, and we've been found throughout history. We've always existed, but you guys didn't even know about us or cared 3 years ago. So Elon Musk went and whined about how he lost his son because to the woke mind virus, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be, made up bullshit, whatever, you know. And you motherfuckers out there who say, oh, well, you being trans, oh, yes, it's all in your head, bullshit. Listen, I've known who I've been. I know who I was. I knew who I was going to become. That's way back as 1972, which is probably a lot longer than you've been alive, most of you. So, anyway, you know, look, I don't really give a rat's ass if you understand what it is to be us. I don't owe you an explanation, you know, but the only thing that we ask out of you guys is that we be given the same dignity and respect as any other human being. I mean, we had it before. I don't understand why you're trying to take it all away now. Like, you know, people can't afford eggs. People can't afford gas. Their health care has been taken away. I mean, people have real problems, and instead of fixing them, Republicans have decided to persecute and punish a group of people that for the most part have done nothing to harm or threaten anyone. But yet, here we are. It's just immoral. And they want to come at us, and a good number of them want to kill us. For what? We're your fellow Americans, you fuckheads. You know, wake up. Seriously. We don't deserve this. We've done nothing to you. We don't threaten you. Most of you have never met one of us, and probably never will, unless you go looking for us. And even then, you might not notice, and then you might be in shock. Like look, I'm in a tourist town, so I run into tourists all the time, and almost never has someone gotten too weird around me. That most part, they're just, you know, they don't know how to react, or they, oh well, after you, man. You know, it's like, okay, it's cool, you know, and that's fine. You know, I don't need you to understand. But what I do need you to do is not allow this thing they're starting to call transgenocide. Now, you're not saying, oh, you're just overreacting. Bullshit. We told you everything that has happened so far. We told you before you allowed that man to become president again. We told you this was going to happen. He even said he was going to do these things. And you still let him become president. Oh, I can't vote for a woman. Oh, women are too emotional. The alternative? Listen, being anti-trans doesn't make you a patriot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And coming after us and taking away our rights and punishing us doesn't make you Christian either. In fact, it's, you know, you're using deceptive means. You're using very underhanded stuff. You know, you people, especially you people call yourself Christians. You know, Jesus told you need to love thy neighbor. You're not doing it. You're picking and choosing, you know. And I'll remind you guys, if you bring God into this, you don't speak for God. In fact, you have yet to prove there is one. You know, I could argue that, well, we won't go there. Listen, I mean, there are a lot of people around the world that are watching what's going on. History is watching. And they know this is wrong, and they're calling you out. But you guys are not hearing it because guess who owns all the media? All of Trump's buddies. They knew that they can control the media, they can control the flow of information, and you're not getting it. I mean, this country has gone from the leader of the free world to the pariah of the free world. It's really heartbreaking. I mean, my father gave his whole adult life to this country. First serving in Vietnam, you know, and then spend the next 30 years as a Cold Warrior with the Air National Guard, you know, and, you know, it would have broke his heart to see what's become of his country, you know, and it's just, it's sad, it's tragic, but, I mean, Republicans, they've passed now over 700 bills against transgender people, or to squeeze this out of existence for 2026. It's only March. I mean, and they're not done yet. They want to fuck us like we murdered their children or something. You know, it's ridiculous. The hatred, the vitriol. It's like, but then again, look where they're getting their information from. A 34-time convicted felon, convicted of fraud. And yet he says, we're the ones committing fraud? Excuse the fuck out of me. We did everything legal. Everything we did, judges signed off on our paperwork. You can't do that. I mean, if that's the way you want to play, then J.D. Vance needs to go back and change his name to his birth name, because he changed his name 3 times, and yet he says we shouldn't be allowed to do ours. Fuck you. And you people who say, oh, we should ban gender-affirming care. Okay, all you men out there who say we should be gender-affirming care, you don't get to get hair transplants. No more hair plugs for you, because that's gender-affirming care. No more pec implants? No. Penis? Oh, Viagra too. You don't get to have that. That's gender-affirming care. And you fucking slaves of the patriarchy. You women out there who hate us as well. You don't get to get boob jobs anymore. You no more Botox, no more filler. Gender affirming care. Oh, hair dye. Oh dear. Gender affirming care. See, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You're just doing it. Just to hurt us. People. I mean, you don't know me. So how can you say I deserve this hatred, all this punishment? What crime have I committed? None. I mean, everything that we have done was legal until Donald Trump decided he's gonna just like say, no, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that, whatever. Look, you don't have to love us. You don't even have to really know us, but, just be a decent human being. Fuck, you don't have to wear a cross or whatever, you believe in, whatever. You don't have to do these things, but don't fucking treat us like this. Do us like that. And then think you're going to go sit in church or synagogue or whatever, and then think you're going to just do the morality car wash, or as they say, get a mulligan. Whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. History's watching. And if that God you say exists, yeah, he's watching too. You're going to have to answer to that. Listen, I'm really sad for this country. And I fear for my children. I really do. My daughter really she doesn't sleep well at all. She's crying all the time because she's afraid they're going to take me away. She's afraid she's not going to have me in her life, and she flies into a panic. She's autistic. I'm the world to her. And I'm sure there are other trans femmes out there like me that may also have wives and may also have children. And their children, you don't understand. All these things that are being done to us, they're hurting our families. They're tearing us apart. I mean, it's one thing, like in my case, because of discrimination, I was forced out of my home of 23 years. And I'm being denied housing. I'm being denied assistance. There is no help for trans people. Every door is closed to us. And if there is one open, they're not set up for families. So, in fact, some trans are unaware that some trans do have families. It blows my mind. But this is what it is. This is what's happening in this country. If you're watching from another country, I want you to pay attention. Document this stuff. Take our names down. Don't let them forget us. Don't let them murder us. If something does happen to us, you need to hold these people to account. Whether through the ICC, whether through the United Nations, whatever. We cannot let a new Holocaust take place, a genocide here on American soil. It cannot happen. It must not happen. And trust me, I won't wish this on my worst enemy. So none of us understand the why. We always knew there's bigots here, but come on. You guys were focused on other things 3 years ago. Donald Trump himself, all he obsessed about was, my stolen election, and that is criminal court cases, So you heard about the stolen election, I did anything wrong, whatever. Yeah, you fucking crook, That's just a sad irony. We're, to say we're committing fraud, but yet you're going to excuse that guy. 34 convicted felonies. Hey, again, we went to the courts. We did everything legal. Those people in Kansas did everything legal. Those people applying for visas did everything. Now we all have to watch out for ICE because they'll just snatch anybody because they get paid by how many people they snatch. Doesn't matter if it's the wrong person. They don't care. Again, they've set it up so they can have immunity. This is Trump's personal army of thugs. Proud Boys, Klansmen, whatever. They're all thugs. Hateful human beings. Or should I say, excrement. This has been David Death Dolly. This has been my rant. Please pray for us.